Test.
That's fine, use whatever you
This is Portland. Check.
Sounds good.
What's that?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Just to make sure. Check, Portland.
Uh-oh.
Check.
Oh, he's there, start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly project call. It is January 28th. I'm your host, Asa Dotzler, and let's get started. As with usual, we open the meeting with Friends of Mozilla. I want to start out with a huge thank you to the Mozilla India community for running another great Privacy Month campaign on social. They've done this several years running, and they spend the whole month posting privacy tips each day to help people take control of their online lives. So let's hear it with a round of applause for our Mozilla India community. Also, a big thanks to our tech speakers, Karthikayan, Jayesh, Ram, Vishwaprasad, who gave talks and workshops this last week at various conferences across India, and to Boris, Depesh, Cairo, Trishul, Daniele, and Gabriele, who will be speaking this week at FOSDEM in Brussels. Round of applause for our tech speakers who are out there every week making the world a better place. We've got some upcoming events in the calendar. First, I want to make a note that we've got a change in Bugzilla. Many of you use Bugzilla, so this is worth sharing with everyone. The advanced search now leaves out the graveyard product, so you don't get all of those unnecessary and uninteresting bugs showing up in your bug reports. Thanks to Kohei for making this change. On Wednesday, we have the weekly add-ons community meeting in the ACE video room. You can click the link to get more details on that, but if you are a part of the add-ons community or you want to help or become a part of the add-ons community, this is the meeting for you. On Friday, Libby Hempel, full professor, University of Michigan Information School, will be giving a talk designing targeted automated de-escalation strategies for social media. There are more links on this, more information on this in the wiki. And on Saturday begins FOSDEM. FOSDEM is the annual free and open source developer European meeting. We send a team of speakers, staff, and contributors to represent Mozilla. It's a massive event for the open source community. If you're in or near Belgium, Brussels, Belgium, please come along. The event schedule is linked in the wiki, and the schedule for the Mozilla Dev Room is linked in the wiki. FOSDEM goes from Saturday, February 2nd through Sunday, February 3rd. Please join us if you're in the area. That's it for our calendar, and we are going to move on to speakers. The first speaker we have is Brianna, who is going to introduce our cohort of cultural onboarding. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. This week in Mountain View, we have 29 people attending cultural onboarding. We're all wearing blue lanyards, so if you see people, say hello. And we'll have an opportunity at the end of the week on Thursday to come and have ice cream and cookies and meet everybody. So watch for an invite for that in Mountain View.
Thank you, Brianna. Next up is me with our weekly Firefox update. Let me zoom this in so we can see a little bit better. Firefox 64.0.2 is our current stable release. 65 is in the beta channel and moves to release tomorrow, January 29th. We're currently in the release candidate phase, so if you're a beta user and you check your About Firefox page, it'll look a lot like a release build, but it is just the release candidate build, and you'll return to seeing normal beta builds soon. Firefox 66 is in the nightly channel, or was in the nightly channel last week. It just flipped over to Firefox 67 today. Over the last week, we had 560 bugs fixed, including a few notable ones. The first, and I think most exciting for me, is that Firefox now has basic support for the Mac Touch Bar. So if you're a Mac user and you've got one of the laptops with the shiny new touch bars on it, You have the Firefox toolbar accessible to you there for commonly accessed Firefox features. Another interesting change, the old style system has been completely ripped out and we are now using Stylo everywhere. This is a important change for code cleanup, but also a signal that we are done with the old engine and Stylo rules Firefox. Blocking video autoplay can now be managed from the control center. This is the little eye up in the Firefox address bar. So if you visit a site that is blocking autoplay and you want to allow autoplay for that site to make an exception, click the little eye and allow autoplay. The crash reporter now supports high DPI scaling, so text is no longer blurry for people using high DPI displays who encounter Firefox crashes. Nice change there. The home page in private browsing windows now includes a search field. This is a change. For the last few years, we've had a private browsing mode that just had a big warning about what private browsing is and isn't. With recent nightly builds, you now have a search field in that private browsing window that uses your default search engine. The Windows installer got about twice as fast for ARM64 systems. We have about 80 or 90 people on nightly builds on ARM64. If you've got an ARM64 system, we would love your testing there. And the installer is faster, so you'll get through that 10-second install in 5 seconds. Firefox Sync now syncs a few additional items. Tab previews in the Windows taskbar option gets synced. Play DRM content gets synced. And allow Firefox to send backlog crash reports also get synced. We weren't here last week, so I'll share a few of the 540 changes that went in last week. We have a managed extension shortcut item in the gear menu of the add-ons manager that lets you change extension keyboard shortcuts. If you're one of those people who really doesn't like the keyboard shortcut associated with your extension, you can go in and change that now. Firefox syncs the home content preferences. VR is in its own process. We made a change to font weights on Mac because of the fonts were showing up lighter when people upgraded from 10.13 to 10.14. We fixed a regression that was causing Gmail scrolling to be jumpy. So if you were on nightly and your Gmail was misbehaving when you scrolled, that was driving you away. That's fixed now. Please return to the nightly builds. Firefox will now hide all of the Pocket context menu and library panel items if you disable Pocket in About Config. And last but not least, on Linux, the title bar is now merged with the tab bar by default. This brings Linux up to speed with Firefox, Windows, and Mac. That's it for the Firefox update this week. Next up we have, let's see, I'm a little too zoomed in, Dave Townsend, who's coming to us remotely from Portland to talk about profile support.
Hey folks, can you hear me okay? Great. So I wanted to give you all a heads up about a couple of features that are coming to Nightly real soon now. One of them is dedicated profiles per install. For a while now, Dev Edition has used a separate profile to other versions of Firefox. We're now rolling that out to all versions of Firefox, so you'll be able to run different versions of Firefox using different settings directories by default. We're also adding downgrade prevention. We've seen numerous problems where users use an older version of Firefox than last used the profile, and it causes them a bunch of issues, some startup crashes, some websites misbehaving. And so now when you try and do that, you're going to get a warning dialog stopping you. That's all planned to land on Mozilla Central on Wednesday, so it should be in Nightly's late Wednesday, maybe Thursday. And a feature that's going to enable us to do is being able to run multiple Firefox installs at the same time without any special command line flags. This is a highly requested feature from our Nightly users. And that'll be coming shortly after Wednesday. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Next up, we have Aaron giving us our Emerging Technologies Weekly Update.
Hey, everybody. So we have some updates from 3 different areas of emerging tech. First up is a new Project Things release, 0.7. So in this release, we have support for a ton of new devices, including cameras, temperature, and LED sensors. And you can use a rules engine to take action based on anything you're seeing with any of these sensors. There's a linked blog post on Hacks if you want to get the details and get a sense for what's ahead for the team. We also have some enhancements to Hubs. So Hubs is a mixed reality online chat system. And as of now, you can watch streaming video in Hubs as well as just hanging out or having meetings. So we think this will be really exciting. And as a side note, Firefox Reality has now hit almost 20,000 monthly active users. Finally, we've got some other news in the VR space. The Developer Outreach Group has put together their first video project of 2019 with a series of 7 short tutorials on building VR content for your browser, showing you in particular how to build an immersive birthday card with music. So again, please check out the blog post on Hacks for more. Thanks, everybody.
And next up, we have Andrew coming to us with the Weekly Minute. Can you roll the video?
It's time for the Weekly Minute, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to help Mozillians in their mission to keep the web a global public resource, open and accessible to all. There's quite a bit of content, so we'll just get right to it. January 28th, which is today, is International Data Privacy Day. The purpose of Data Privacy Day is to create awareness about respecting privacy and data protection best practices. In the spirit of Data Privacy Day, we'd like to hear your stories about how you or your team use lean data practices at Mozilla. The call for participation and more information on Data Privacy Day is available on Mozilla Discourse at the link below. Speaking of implementing lean data practices, the IT data team completed the setup of a comprehensive security framework for what they're calling Data Platform 2.0. This should enable the management of security policies across the entire data stack. In other news, our business support operations team has wrapped up a major milestone in cooperation with WPR. This set of enhancements was focused on ticketing workflows and analytics on all the amazing services WPR provides. We can now report on everything from space utilization to shipping and receiving. If you'd like more information, there's a short tour available at the link below. Finally, the first refreshed UX wireframes have arrived for the new Air Mozilla. If you'd like to check them out, they're available here. Feedback, questions, or comments should be directed to #AirMozilla on Slack. As always, all the links from the minute are available on wiki.mozilla.org, and that's the minute.
Thank you for the update. And we have an addendum to the weekly IT, the Weekly Minute, coming to you from Moz PDX is Michael Van Cleek.
Hi, Asa. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? We've had having audio in this room.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, hi, everybody. Thank you. I'm coming to you just with a little thing, actually, about Airmo. Following up on what Andrew talked about the new mock-ups for Airmo. That user interface that is mocked up is a new look at for an internal staff and NDA facing interface. It's more in line with what our current public website looks like. And as part of this work, we want to make sure the community feels very included and involved in Airmo, because we're going to evolve Airmo in 2019. We have specific goals, OKRs, on improving client satisfaction with Airmo. Clients mean all of you who are watching right now, obviously, and so many more people. And we want to increase the amount and value of the content streams that are being delivered through Airmo. So if you're part of the Airmo community and you want to be involved in this journey, maybe we could reach out to you and ask you some questions. You want to keep up to date as we bring these interfaces together and really improve Airmo this year. Please sign up and show your interest in the doc here. We're going to be opening up some more public forums for communication. Not quite sure exactly what those are going to look like, but if you show your interest here in the doc, just give your name and your email, and if you want, you can say something like I did there. You know, I'm excited to help Airmo become a first-class home for all of the great video content that our staff and community members create in service of our mission. And if you want to join us with this, sign up on the GDoc that's linked from the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Next up, we have Mara with our weekly marketing update.
Hi guys, I am filling in for Liz Holt today and sharing just a couple quick marketing updates. First thing is our branded podcast IRL surpassed 3 million downloads, which is amazing. If you haven't listened to it, please do, check it out. Second thing is, as you have heard, it is Data Privacy Day. So we are doing a couple things as marketing, including a couple tweet threads pointing to things like our lean data practices and monitor, and also doing some activations in our Germany market with those nifty camera covers. Finally, as we move into the excitement of 65 tomorrow, we are also working on content like blogs, videos, etc., to talk about enhanced tracking protection. So you will see those things rolling out tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thanks for the update. That's it for our scheduled speakers. We have one final component to that meeting and this meeting, and that is to introduce new hires. The first new hire we have to introduce, and I'll ask to come up, is Dana Bennett, to be introduced by Michael D'Angelo. If you wouldn't mind coming up and putting your face on the screen so people can connect a face to a name.
Hi, everybody. Michael D'Angelo from People Team. Hey, Dana.
Hi.
So I have to do a welcome from San Francisco. I'm so excited to welcome Dana. She is our new Senior Director of People and Capability in the People Team. That role encompasses the talent acquisition team, otherwise known as recruiting, people partners, as well as L&D, or learning and development. And Dana has tons of great experience. She spent time at Palo Alto Networks, spent about 10 years at Apple, and she's super excited to be here, but no one's more excited than me to have Dana on our team. So welcome, Dana.
Welcome, Dana.
Awesome, thank you.
And next up, we have Jim Thomas being introduced by Chris Moore. Chris is in Austin. Welcome, Jim. Put your face on the screen.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am Chris Moore, and I can see Jim Thomas standing there on video in Mountain View. I'd like to introduce him as Jim Thomas as starting on the Firefox product management team. Jim comes to us from BrightCrowd, where he was a product lead and then previously at Groupon, also in product. Jim will be focused on growth at the macro level across the entire organization to ensure that the investments we're making across product, marketing, and other teams have three components: visibility, two, making sure that we have measurable user value delivery, and then three, ensuring that the investments are actually contributing to our top level KPIs. Jim will be based out of the Mountain View office and be working cross-functionally with many of you. So, Jim, welcome.
Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
I'm going to do a quick reload of the wiki to see if anything else crept on. It doesn't look like it. So with that, we are all wrapped up for this week. See you next week. Until then, keep on rocking the free web.